finally unveil the blueprint for the most complex machine on earth, the human body. An event of this magnitude deserves a panel of excellence. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished dignitaries, chief guests, and guests of honor on the dais. First, we have the man behind the compilation and curation of this mission, Dr. Vijay C. Bose. Next, we have a pioneer whose name is synonymous with world-renowned liver transplant surgery and the chairman of Rela Hospital, Professor Mohammad Rela. Welcome, sir. Next, we have the visionary behind our great institution of SIMS Hospital, our Honorable Chairman, Dr. Ravi Pachamurthy. Welcome, sir. A man who knows exactly what it takes to maintain a high-performance operating system, former Indian cricketer and RCB batting coach, Mr. Dinesh Karthik. Welcome, sir. And a voice that resonates across Tamil Nadu, celebrated anchor, writer, and public speaker, Mr. Gopinath Chandran. Welcome, sir. Now, I would like Dr. Vijay C. Bose and doctors of the Madras Medical College 84 batch to felicitate our dignitaries on the dais. First, we would like to felicitate our Honorable Chairman, Dr. Ravi Pachamurthy. Next, we will now felicitate Professor Mohammad Rela. Next, we would like to felicitate Mr. Dinesh Karthik. And now, we would be felicitating Mr. Gopinath Chandran. Now, to formally welcome this distinguished gathering, I would now like to invite Dr. Nirmal Frederick, Chairman of Nirmal Eye Hospital, to deliver the welcome address.
Vanakkam and a very warm afternoon to one and all. So what a beautiful way to begin with the Tamil Thai Varthu by our Sesquiz girls. It is both a privilege and pleasure, personal honor for me to stand before you today as we gather for a truly historic milestone, the unveiling of Universal Health Code, a work that aspires to be more than a book, a mission. First, I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Ravi Pachamurthy, the chairman of SRM Group, a visionary leader whose name is synonymous with education, healthcare, and institution building in India. Under his stewardship, SRM has grown into a multi-vertical empire spanning education, healthcare, hospitality, and many industries, touching the lives of tens of thousands of students and countless patients. Sir, your presence here means a great deal, and I must acknowledge something truly remarkable. Out of the nearly 50 plus doctors from our batch who have contributed to this book, only one works at SIMS, and yet SIMS has been magnanimous in supporting this entire event, because it is for a good and greater cause. Sir, we are deeply grateful for your support and presence. Welcome. We are honored to have with us Professor Mohammad Rela, a name that resonates globally, a world-renowned liver transplant surgeon and chairman of Rela Hospital. He has performed one of the most complex liver transplants in medical history on a 5-day-old infant, a feat that earned him global recognition and a world record. But beyond surgical brilliance and his passion for Tamil literature, what stands out is his commitment to building quality systems. I live in Tambaram and work with NABH, and I have witnessed the growth of Rela Institute in quality and system-oriented approach to healthcare. Welcome, Dr. Rela. From the world of surgery to another big religion in our country, cricket, I am delighted to welcome Dr. Dinesh Karthik, a former Indian cricketer, a wicketkeeper extraordinaire, and a currently batting coach of Royal Challengers, Bangalore. He is someone who has reinvented himself at every stage of the career, from making his international debut as a teenager to playing one of the most iconic last ball finish in IPL history. He knows what it means to push the body to its limit, to bounce back from injuries, and to stay match fit year after year. And we are happy to have you, Dinesh Karthik, and I'm sure you will have something to say on fitness and health today. And now a man who needs no introduction in Tamil Nadu, but I'm going to give him one anyway because that's what welcome speeches are for. Mr. Gopinath Chandran, the celebrated television anchor, journalist, best-selling author and motivational speaker, and beloved host of Nia Nana, who made the living rooms of Tamil Nadu a debatable place. He has a rare gift of making complex issues simple and making simple issues complex, and making the entire state stop and think, all while wearing his signature coat, but that is missing today. Now here is something fascinating about this man. He sold over 4 lakh copies of his best-selling book by telling people, please, in the Butthagattai Vangadinge. So, and the whole Tamil Nadu promptly went and bought 4 lakh copies. So Gopinath, we are expecting you to share some secrets to sell this book and make it a big best-selling book. So welcome, Gopinath. The man behind the book and now the man of the hour, the man who single-handedly responsible for this book. So instead of enjoying a Tuesday afternoon nap, he got us all here, Dr. Vijay C. Bose. He is the director and senior consultant joint reconstructive surgeon at SIMS Hospital with over 2,500 hip resurfacing surgeries to his credit, and one of the largest series in Asia and 5th largest in the world. Most people with this track record would sit back and enjoy the laurels, but not Vijay Bose. So it all started during COVID, what began as a simple group health chat among our SESQUIZ batch slowly turned into something bigger, and he made us all guinea pigs of sorts, walking us through challenges, health experiments, and lifestyle changes. So, and just when we thought it's all over, one day he announced that we'll be coming out, let's write a book. So before we know, most of us were researching, and he handed us a draft, and nearly 50 of us were researching, writing, reviewing, and discussing about this for the last at least few years. But jokes apart, what Dr. Bose has achieved is nothing sort of extraordinary. He took a simple but powerful idea that the best doctors should not treat just disease, but teach people how to prevent it. And he turned it into reality, and now we have something, a book and a prescription that recovers no pharmacy. And behind this extraordinary name is another extraordinary woman, Shanti Bose, and the entire Bose family. I welcome all of you. Thanks for fixing Bose to this job. And the most important group here, the SESQUIZ, our 1984 batch, a heartful welcome and salute to my dear SESQUIZ. They researched and contributed to this book. We joined in 1984 as wide-eyed students during the SESQUIZ centennial year of our great institution, Madras Medical College. That's why we are called as SESQUIZ. And over 4 decades, this batch has produced some of the finest specialists and healers across the world. So if you want to identify those green saris and with this green badge, so proudly belong to this 84 batch. And this book is a collective gift to our society. So I look around this hall and see many familiar faces and distinguished senior consultants and eminent doctors from SIMS and many other hospitals, including Dr. Mailvan sir, the former VC of MJR Medical University, Dr. Patta, and also my classmates, Dr. Soma, who all, and Dr. Pal, UTV, all of them have traveled from faraway places and joined here. So welcome all of you. A special welcome to the consultants and officials of SIMS Hospital. Your presence speaks of the respect and warmth Dr. Bose commands among his colleagues. I also welcome friends from the press and media and every one of you, the invited dignitaries, healthcare professionals and well-wishers who have taken time to be with us during this milestone launch. So this evening is not merely a book launch, it is a launch of a conversation about responsibility, individual and collective responsibility, a conversation about prevention over prescription, and a conversation about translating decades of clinical insights into everyday living. On behalf of the organizers, I extend my heartfelt welcome to each one of you. Let us celebrate knowledge, health, and the spirit of giving back. Thank you, Nandri. Welcome everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Nimmer, for setting the tone for today's meaningful and visionary event. We now move forward to our Expert Insights, a segment that addresses one of our greatest challenges of time. It is an honor to invite a globally respected pioneer, Professor Mohammad Rela. Please, sir, stage is yours.
I didn't realize I was going to be the first speaker. I usually get some ideas from the previous speakers. I think first of all I must thank Dr. Ravi Pachimuthu. He's been a good friend for many years now. We've met on social occasions, and what's nice about it is he's so humble and polite and yet has established a world-class institution. And there are many of you who are benefiting from it, and there are many students who have benefited from it. A huge number of graduates have come out of it. And thank you, sir, for your contribution. I'm one Indian who is cricket naive. Everybody asks me that question. Indians, you have to be a cricket person. Unfortunately, I'm not. But my respects to you, sir, for achieving what you have done, Mr. Karthik. But you inadvertently just now paid me a compliment. I don't even know if you knew you were paying me a compliment, because he came and said, "Congratulations to your batch." He thought I was one of your batch. I'm 10 years old. I went into medical school 10 years before this batch. So if I'm looking younger still, don't change your mind. Oh, now I see he's older. you know. So thank you for that. And obviously I have to, pay my respects to Mr. Gopinath. I do watch a lot of your programs. I think it comes just after lunchtime on a Sunday, at lunchtime. So every Sunday I'm at home. My mother forces me that I have to have lunch, and your program is running every lunchtime. So I've seen many of the debates, many of the controversies, very interesting. And thank you for your contribution, sir. And finally, Dr. Vijay Bose, well done. It's what you've done is, I hope, is a fantastic service to the people. I'm saying I hope because I asked you for a copy so that I can read and then talk about it. He said, it's not ready, you just say whatever you want. And then I'll correct it if you're wrong, because if I'm talking on the subject he's writing a book on, he is the authority, isn't he? So he can have the right to come and say whatever you've said is wrong. So let's come to the subject matter. I think I like the book title, The Universal Health Code. I think it's almost like a Bible, isn't it? When you say a universal health code, it's actually a health code. And I hope it's a health code. And what I want to just, can I use 10 minutes?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did we get health so wrong? Did we get health wrong in the first place? My idea is actually not. People keep on saying our ancestors were healthy, they were living longer. I know Bible says Abraham lived for 600 years and, and Dasharathan had 60,000 wives. But let's keep that aside. I think we are healthier now than those days. The life expectancy is longer now than those days. But we have certain diseases because of what we have got ourselves into. I mean, living 60 years those days would have been a very long life expectancy because we had diseases that we couldn't conquer. We didn't have antibiotics. Most people died of infections. Most people died of delivery when they were giving birth to a baby. The maternal mortality would have been extremely high those days. So science has done some good to humanity. So let's just not go and say our ancestors lived longer and our ancestors lived better. Maybe they lived better. Now, the major problem for the world in those days was poverty, lack of food. I hope you are addressing that and why we are like this. இப்போ தமிழில் பேசுங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டீங்க நீங்கள், அப்போ தமிழ்லையும் பேசிடுறேன். ஸோ ஔவையார் தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு. ஔவையார் ஊர் ஊராக நடந்து தான் போவாங்க. எத்தனை பேர் ஔவையார் படத்தை பார்த்தீங்கன்னு தெரில. ஷி ஒன்லி வாக்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் டவுன் டு டவுன், ஃப்ரம் எங்கே கேரளாலேருந்து இங்கே சோழ நாட்டிலேருந்து பாண்டிய நாட்டிலேருந்து நடந்து தான் போகணும். ஷி வாஸ் ஸ்டார்விங் ஆல் த டைம். And there are many instances where there are stories about Avvaiyar having conversations with Murugan. இல்லையா, கொடியது என்னன்னு கேட்டது. கொடியது என்னன்னு கேட்டப்போ what did she say? கொடிது கொடிது வறுமை கொடிது. So வறுமை கொடிது is starvation is what is the major problem those days. But she was intelligent enough to think actually there are even worse than that. இளமையில் வறுமை, அதனினும் கொடிது இளமையில் வறுமை, அதனினும் கொடிது ஆற்றனா கொடுநோய். So she even knew untreatable diseases is even கொடுமை. For the ladies here, அதனினும் கொடுமை அன்பிலா பெண்டிர். So peace of mind at home is the worst thing for anybody. People are not agreeing to that, but Avvaiyar ஒரு பொம்பளை தான் சொன்னாங்க அதை. So starvation was the major issue those days, and our body was adapting to it. And starvation was not for the last 100 years or 200 years. Starvation was for millennia. Thousands and thousands of years where humans did not have enough food. So our genetic makeup changed in such a way that wherever there was food, we went and stored it. And we stored it and then used it efficiently. So our body had the capacity to store food. இப்போ நீங்கள் ஒரு 50 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி 75 வயசுக்கு முன்னாடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பியூட்டி இஸ் சம்திங் வேர் ஒரு என்ன சொல்கிறது ஒரு ஒரு கிராமத்தில் இருக்கிற ஜமீன்தார்னு பார்க்கலாம். ஜமீன்தார் தொப்பையோடு தானே இருக்கணும். ஜமீன்தார் மெல்லிசாக இருந்தால் மதிக்க மாட்டீங்க நீங்கள். அந்த மாதிரி ஜமீன்தார் வீட்டு குழந்தையும் கொழுன்னு தான் இருக்கணும். You just have to feed them. So food became part of our culture. To feed someone became part of our culture because centuries and centuries of starvation converted our population into thinking feeding is the most important thing. வீட்டுக்கு வர்றவங்களுக்கு ஏன் வள்ளுவரே சொல்லாரு, செல்விருந்தோம்பி வருவிருந்து பார்த்திருப்பான் நல்விருந்து வானத்தவர்க்கு. நீங்கள் சொர்க்கத்துக்கு போகணுன்னா கூட இங்கே இருக்கிறவனுக்கு சாப்பாடு போட்டால் தான் நீங்கள் சொர்க்கத்துக்கு போக போகிறீங்க. So feeding, it's all about feeding. So we fed and fed and fed, but the starvation came to an end. The revolutions in farming came, the pesticides came, the electronic and the tractors and the machinery came, and now we have a surplus of food. And do you know something? India wastes the second largest amount of food in the world. The first is China. I thought it was America. India wastes. I looked it up today. You can Google now the top 10 countries which is wasting food. Number 1 is China and the number 2 is India. 780 million tons of food is wasted in India every year. So we are eating them. And we are eating them disgustedly. You go to a party, you go to a wedding, you go to anything, there is a surplus of food. இப்போ இலையில் 48 டிஷ் வைக்கணுமா 72 டிஷ் வைக்கணுமான்னு கேட்குறான் கல்யாணத்துக்கு. யார் 42 டிஷ்ஷை சாப்பிட்றது? அந்த காலத்தில் கல்யாணம் ஃபுட் இஸ் மச் நைஸர் பிகாஸ் இட் வாஸ் குட் 5-6 dishes. Today it is 48 dishes or 72 dishes. So everything that I'm going to say to you, I don't know what's in the book, is about excess. Everything is about surplus. We are eating and eating and eating. Our body can't handle it. It's storing and storing and storing. The body is storing thinking starvation is going to come. Famine is going to come. Because for 1,000, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, our genetic makeup has been thinking that there is going to be a period of starvation. So it's feeding. So we are feeding, no starvation is coming. And then it's all becoming fat. And it's depositing everywhere. It's inflammation. Your microbiota is changing. And all diseases, including cancer. Don't think cancer is not associated with overeating. Your heart disease, your hypertension, your diabetes, your fatty liver, your cancer, every one of this is overeating. And you might add lack of exercise, because exercise is again using up the energy. We are not using up the energy, we're just putting food into ourselves. And that's where we are. I think religions have done something. Today they are saying 18 hours of fasting is good to lose weight. This is the month of Ramadan. Unfortunately, I'm not fasting. Month of Ramadan, 18 hours of fasting. That's what they're doing. So you can eat as much as you want, but you fast, you will lose weight. So somehow you have to burn the calorie. If you don't burn, so that is all my message to you is, the underlying problem is lack of exercise to burn it, and then excess calorie to take it in. I'm going to finish with a beautiful poetry, again Tamil. எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிஞ்ச ஒன்று, but it tells everything about how we have to lead a life. யாதும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளீர். எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும்ல. முதல் லைன் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். ரெண்டாவது லைன் யாருக்கு தெரியும்? ரெண்டாவது லைன் தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாரா. தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாரா is so beautiful. அதை விடுங்க, தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாரா நம்புறீங்களோ நம்பலையோ, நம்ம தலையெழுத்து sometimes bad things happen to us. அதனால தான் we have fate as something as well. That is also part of our belief in this world. But the third line he says is, நோதலும் சாதலும், யாதும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளு தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாரா நோதலும் தனிதலும் அவற்றோர் என்ன. It's exactly the same. Diseases come to us, and our ability to come through the diseases is our own making. It's exactly like feeding. It's exactly like Thidum Nandrum Piradharavarai. Adhe Madridan, Nodalum, Tanidalum is also what we bring into us. And that is something that our ancestors have understood so long. Sadalum Puduvanandre. வாழ்தல் இனிதன மகிழ்ந்தென்றும் இளமே. இதுதான் எக்ஸஸ்க்காக பேசுறது. இது வாழ்தல் இனிதன மகிழ்ந்தென்றும் என்றே முனிவின் இன்னாதென்றும் என்றே. So don't feel so happy that life is going on so well. It's part of your life. It's only one phase of our life. Similarly, don't get so sad that the life is not going so well. That's where your tensions come into life. It's your unhappiness about life. It's your stress in life. So if you leave these two, and then he describes a long sentences of how to lead a life, and he says, life is like a boat. Life is like a struggling boat that is going through a river. And the river is something which is going through a rough time and a smooth time. The smooth time are good times, and the rough times are rough times. And how you navigate a boat through a rough and a smooth river is how you actually lead a life, is what Kanyan Pungondranath says. Actually, it's a very beautiful verse. Even the last two lines, Marchian Periorai Viettalum Ilame, Siriorai Ihardal Adanina Milame. It's all part of your life. There is no need for hero worship. Don't put down people below you. Everything is there in one song. If you look at Avvayar, she says, Kilo Rainam Tara Urain Avanga Ore Varila Soliduvanga. And the Madri, so we lead a life, we lead a good life. We don't have to be too proud that we are doing well. We don't have to hero worship. Control your emotions, control your good times, control your bad times. And everything that comes to you, whether it's good or bad, is what you create. And even diseases that comes to you and the ability to get over it is all up to you. So there is already in our society what you have said in your book, I hope, and I hope your book clarifies everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Rela, for that powerful and enlightening address. Next, I would like to invite the man behind this curation of this mission. I would like to invite our very own Dr. Vijay C. Bose, sir. He will be speaking on introducing a potential game changer. The stage is yours, sir.
Slides. Firstly, my thanks to Professor Rela, our SIMS chairman, Dinesh Karthik, and for honoring us with your presence. So my heartfelt thanks for the same. You can have the slides, please. So I'll go through a small PowerPoint. Right. Okay. So I'm sure many are wondering how a book can be a game changer. And many are wondering, there are actually hundreds of books on health. So what's new about this? Actually, there are actually thousands of books on health actually these days. And they promise you various things. They say there's 20 secrets to longevity, there are 10 alternative exercises, there are 50 superfits. In 30 days, you can have a wellness reset, etc., etc. But however, in spite of all these books, you find for, as Professor Rela said, the past, historically is one thing, but for the past 30 years, this chronic lifestyle diseases is climbing, unrelentingly climbing, and that really is the current problem. And this is something serious because we are losing people in the prime of their lives. Small children are losing their parents, and we are getting disabled as a society very prematurely. So once you get disabled, you are a burden to yourself, your family, your society, etc. That's really a telling problem. So something is really missing here. So we've always told people regarding health, do this, give you a list of things, and give another list of things. Don't do this. That's all has been touted for a long time. Now this approach will never work. This approach is known as kindergarten approach. The very name tells you that it will work only with kindergarten children, telling them do this, don't do this. This is not going to work for adults. So real change begins with understanding. There's abundance of contradictory information. I'm sure you'll all agree. There's one health influencer who says you need to eat red meat. Another one says, no, don't eat meat, go vegan. Another one says you have to lift heavy in a gym. Other one says go gentle on your body. Then somebody says you drink turmeric with the milk. Somebody says avoid all dairy. And I'm sure somebody says do fasting. Somebody says don't do fasting. So this contradictory information we have been inundated with. And that puts us in a tizzy. But remember that in health, context is king. All of them are right in their own way. All of them are right. But only thing, the context is what is missing. And context is really the king in as far as health. So we need a universal health code to know what is the context for all health issues. Now, there's a lot of scare tactics on health. That coffee contains a lot of poison, there's arsenic in your food, microwaving food will cause cancer, there's microplastics everywhere, exercise to avoid, etc., etc. Now remember that if somebody is fear-mongering, they're selling you something. Always they are selling you something. So somebody says, don't put your savings in a bank account, that means they have some kind of a bank locker that they're trying to sell to you. Always scaremongering comes along with something to sell. So only true core knowledge that you have can protect against fear-mongering. And we all must have core knowledge and health to prevent this fear-mongering going on. Now, of course, this is the age of AI, this is the current trend, and some people think that AI can give you all the health advice there is. It's no doubt a new transformational technology. However, remember this, whatever LLM that you use, whether it's Gemini, Anthropic, ChatGPT, etc., if you type the same prompt in all these, they will give you different answers. Sometimes the same AI agent will give a different answer at different times. So, not all things in life can be artificial. So access to information on health or any issue for that matter was very limited up to the 1990s. When we were school children, the only source of information was the Encyclopedia Britannica, which we used to read page to page, and we used to wait every week for the India Today to come. That's the only source of information that we had those days. But today, it's unlimited information. Social media, we have AI, we have on the phone, we can access anything, anytime. However, so you'd expect, because we have so much knowledge, chronic lifestyle diseases about lifestyle will keep going down and down. But that does not happen. It's actually the contrary. They have risen over the last epidemic in the last 30 years. And as I said, it's a very serious problem. So you really ask the question, is more always better? We have to ask that question. So I'd like to tell you the difference between information, knowledge, and insight. And I like to use the cricketing example. So there are people who know which batsman scored the maximum centuries, which bowler got so many wickets, etc., etc. That's information. That's not very useful. Then we come to knowledge, where a good cricketing captain will know which field to set, which 11 to pick, etc. That is knowledge. But when it comes to something like insight, then we are talking about Dinesh Karthik. Now remember that he took over as the batting coach of RCB in 24, and 25 they won the IPL. That is insight. Let us give him a big hand for that. However, Dinesh, I'd like to tell you that the Chennai Super Kings will win this year. Okay. So when it comes to health, there's a lot of chatter and information. Very little knowledge. Almost no insight. And that's the reason why we need to have an universal health code. So the human body has been described in many things as a paradox, a marvel, as an enigma, etc. But one thing it has never been described is as a machine. Now, once you adopt this mechanistic approach like a machine, then things start to fall into place quite nicely. The human body is a biological machine, whether you like it or not. So machines will always show predictable behavior. The output is dependent on input. All parts are interrelated. This is where we got things wrong. So the input will determine your health status, or there's no enigma, there's no surprise. There's nothing like this one important mistake that we doctors made. There's nothing like heart health, liver health, bone health, kidney health that Professor Rayla said. Health is always holistic. You cannot make only your heart healthy or your bone healthy or your liver healthy. Not possible. You got to make a person healthy or unhealthy. So predictable behavior like a machine based on fundamental core principles. There's no mystery, there's no ambiguity, there's no shortcuts. So complex machines, however, need an operating or a user manual. Now, if we don't have a user manual for a complex machinery, you're going to run into problems. You're going to have less efficiency, there's going to have frequent breakdowns, the cost of maintaining it is going to be very high, and sometimes they just give up and die. The same of our biological, same principles apply. So the missing link is a operating manual. So are we the only ones who thought of this missing link? The answer is no. There's an effort going on currently in the US, and this is none other than the famous neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, who is also putting together an operating manual for the human body. So people are thinking on these lines. And I'm sure there will be other such manuals from Germany, from Japan, etc. However, they're very proud that the very first manual is from India. Extremely proud about that. Not only that, it's from Namma Chennai. Very, very happy about that. Now, in a multi-layered science, just like health, manuals are extremely effective to produce results. So we have information, but we need to produce results. So this is Dr. James Tyner, and he and his family were in a small aircraft in rural Nebraska in 1974 when it crashed. And he found in the local hospital the first treatments that they did the first hour was so pathetic that a lot of disability was created. So he was really worried about that. So he decided to do something about it. So when something is not working consistently, you got to change the system. So he brought together this manual known as the Advanced Trauma Life Support Manual. I'm sure all the doctors will be aware of that. This changed trauma care all over the world. Now, thanks to this ATLS manual, the first goal now, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Europe, Germany, India, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, the first hour treatment will be the same the world over. And that's what the manual achieves. Now, thanks to the manual, ATLS manual, the millions of lives have been saved worldwide. Now, similarly, in a multi-layered science of health, we need to have an operating manual. And that's the reason why 50 of us from our batch got together, and then we put together this manual known as the Universal Health Code. Now, as Nirmal was saying, we belong to the 84 batch CES quiz, and that's it. So CES quiz, make some noise. Very good. But I'm sure some of you are wondering, but my doctor looks after my health. That's really a paradox. Now, if you look at this incidence of chronic lifestyle diseases in the general population, if that is the incidence, you would expect the doctors to be better, but they are not. We find the average life expectancy of doctors is lower than the general population. That's truly a paradox. And if you look at the incidence of lifestyle diseases, the red is the doctors, it's higher in doctors than in the general population. The reason is very easy to find. In medical school, anywhere in the world, nobody teaches you how to optimize health. It's all about disease management. Disease management to taken to the highest level, but nobody talks about how to optimize health. So that's the reason why the doctors are not experts. Now if I go to Mr. Gopinath for something in media or to Dinesh Karthik in cricket, they're experts. But doctors are not experts in health optimization. They're experts in disease management. However, we live in a very strange world. When somebody has got some stomach pain on this side, then they Google it and say what could be the problem, and they go to their neighborhood pharmacy and buy something to eat. When they need health advice, they go to doctors, where they're not experts. Where you really need to go to doctors is when you're having a health problem, but we go for health advice. So we really live in a strange world. So only one person whom you can entrust your health, and that is yourself. Remember that. So this book is not an encyclopedia on health, but it's an empowering tool that will help you achieve optimal health. There's only one person you can trust that on. So I'll just end by giving you some snapshots into the book. So it's a manual, hence it's not meant to be read cover to cover at one go. It's your constant companion in your journey to optimal health. Now, there was a big problem to make technical things for the common people, for the general population. So we borrowed this from the Bhagavad Gita. Whenever there's something Sanskrit in the Bhagavad Gita, they will give in a red immediate what it means. So something like technical words, not medical term, like microbiome, for example. We have to explain that. So in red, you will find that immediately. So it's very easy for everyone to read that. Now, if you see that diagram there, the middle gray, that's where every one of us, or most of us are. This is called a pseudo-wellness. We neither have disease, nor are we in optimal health. We're somewhere in between. We're skirting and flirting with disease. At any point, we may just slip into disease, and that's where most of us are. So we have what's known as a biological blueprint. That's where it's in every cell of our body. And this is like the operating system, like the Windows, for example. So it depends on how you respect it or disrespect it. So based on how much you respect it or disrespect this, you'll be in constant flux. You'll be either slipping into disease or going into optimal health, depending on whether you are respecting or disrespecting this human. So we have covered this in one of the sections very extensively of what we must respect in the human body. Now, if we look into the cells when they have chronic lifestyle disease, you'll find that the changes are the same. And all these manifestations, like Professor Rela said, whether it is stroke, fatty liver, lowering of immunity, diabetes, obesity, heart disease, the cell changes inside every cell changes are the same. It is only the manifestations are different, and we're looking at it from different angle. Very similar to the popular, story of 6 different people looking at the elephant differently. We're looking at it differently, but what is inside is just the same. And what is most fascinating that we discovered in the process of writing this book is that the management is same for everything, or prevention is the same for everything. There's nothing specific to prevent stroke, there's nothing specific to prevent high blood pressure. It's all the same. And that becomes the universal health code. Now, people will say, like any field has got a science to it. Similarly, for example, an exercise has got a science to it. We call it exercise in one of the chapters. So somebody may say, I exercise for 1 hour every day. That's great. But the question is it giving you health benefits? Now, if you don't know the science behind exercise, you're probably wasting that 1 hour. It's not giving you the benefit. So you must know the science behind everything. Similar for exercise, for eating, for fasting, everything. And this book explains the science, makes you understand the science behind everything. Similarly, we can also do wrong things. People think that, for example, people go to the gym every day, big or very healthy. No, they are not. Actually, these are 12 popular bodybuilders who died very young. They died in their 20s and 30s. They're all big bodybuilders. Just because you build your body doesn't mean that you're going to be healthy. Similarly, people think marathon runners are very healthy, and they are not. They do have cardiac issues as well. And you can see the muscle is known as the health organ in the body. A professional marathon runner will have very poor muscle. So you can take it to extremes if you don't understand the science behind it. And as we said, in the realm of health, the application of contextual science, not just raw knowledge, is uniquely powerful and effective. Now, we have this mass health check, and so far we have been saying, there are values to saying you have the disease or you don't have. Everything is viewed in a binary fashion. You have the disease, and somebody with a mass health check will come and tell us that they pass with flying colors, I have no disease, I'm very healthy. No, they may not be very healthy. So it's time to look at the human body as a sort of a constant paradigm with all these metabolic markers changing constantly. So there's always scope for improvement. So just because you don't have a disease doesn't mean you're healthy. There's always scope for improvement through lifestyle interventions. And that's what this book emphasizes. So finally, as we said, it's more than a book, a mission. I'd like to end by saying, more power to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bose. It is indeed more than innovation, a transformation. And thank you for giving us a deep and clear understanding on the Universal Health Code. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we now arrive at the moment we've all been waiting for, the grand unveiling of the Universal Health Code. May I invite our Honorable Chairman and Professor Mohammad Rela to kindly come forward for the unveiling of the life-size book replica. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is, a mission unveiled, a moment launched, presenting to you the Universal Health Code. We now request the dignitaries to present. Thank you all. We now request the dignitaries. Can we have the dignitaries to present the first copies of the books? We request Professor Mohammad Rela to present the first copy to Mr. Dinesh Karthik, please. Next, request our Honorable Chairman to present the copy to Mr. Gopinath Chandan. Thank you, everyone. I request the dignitaries to please be seated. To understand how institutions must respond to this growing health crisis, I now invite our Honorable Chairman, Dr. Ravi Pachamuthu, to speak on hospitals' response to lifestyle disease crisis. You're on your stage, sir.
Professor Rela, my friend and guide in the hospital industry, our Dr. C. Vijay Bose, Mr. Dinesh Karthik, and my dear Gopinath, doctors from SIMS Hospital, and the doctors from Madras Medical College 1984 batch. I'm happy to see you all on this stage, on this book release function. You are all doctors. And today, Doctor and Professor has given you a lecture. I have seen Shakespeare and Thirulur on the stage at the same time. English and Tamil, mixing the medicine, all together in as a one personality. And if I want to say something about our Dr. Bose, he is with us for long, from the inception of the hospital. He is a very understanding person, an excellent human being. He is a very good professional. He has done more than today. When I come to this function, I asked my MRD, medical report department, how many surgeries we have done. They surprised me, 6,000 surgeries he has conducted in SIMS. He is touching so many lives. Because today, whatever we have, we may have so many things, luxury items, house, car, whatever it may be. We are in the society where we have a lot of distractions by means of social media, pubs and clubs, and so on, we can say. We are not enemy to other things, but we have to understand ourselves. That is the most important thing. I feel right from the school or from the home, the people are facing so many psychological problems, even at employment places, because they are living alone. Because social media says, they follow social media, and they say everybody is alone, then they think their mind is tuned to that. So by seeing all this, yes, we have SIMS, what SIMS is doing. SIMS is placed for repair or modify. It's not like that. Once you have problem, we come to SIMS. It is not like that. We think in SIMS, we want to be in advanced way of treatment That is, before it happens, it has to be cured. For example, all the doctors here at our place, they are thinking how to prevent disease. Everybody is having international knowledge, international seminars. Whatever it is happening today, they are well connected with the world. So many people conduct robotic surgeries, and they are in touch with them. Like so, our doctor is just now, they said that in the COVID period, they don't want to keep it idle. The 1984 batch of 50 doctors made this, the COVID occasion, to think about. I feel it is inner engineering. Like he calls it as a manual book for this thing, but I feel it's inner engineering. To know yourself and know what is happening inside your body, and what are the parameters of your body. He has given many examples, like sportsmen to bodybuilding, runners, everywhere, whatever it is, maybe a artist, whatever it's so. But the parameters are not standard. One day it is today, they say you do this, tomorrow you say that is wrong. So the parameters, I feel always it is changing. Nothing is permanent in the world. Whatever yesterday you said is correct, today it is wrong. So these books or the knowledge which is available in the market, it is changeable, but we know our inner engineering. What is our standard? Whether body is good or bad, we should live to the standards or not. So like that, they thought so many, 50 doctors means it is not so easy. They have done a wonderful research the last so many years. After COVID, I think it may be 4 years, I think. After 4 years, they come out with a good book, means they done all parameters and they have monitored, they have done a wonderful research and come out with a book. I congratulate Dr. C. Bose and the Madras Medical College batch 1984 to give us a wonderful book for the society. Because we in SIMS always believe we want the development, the knowledge should be there, and it should not be a stagnant water, it should be flowing water. I appreciate all and everyone who did this book and given to the society. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to release the book. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your visionary leadership and commitment towards building a healthier nation. Before we move on to our next speaker, can we quickly have a group photograph with the book, sir? Request you all to please hold the books. Thank you all. Our next speaker needs no introduction. An icon of discipline, resilience, and peak performance. I would like to now invite Mr. Dinesh Karthik. He will share his thoughts on fitness, health, and this book as a transformative user manual. The stage is yours, sir.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to respect and say hello to Dr. Vijay Bose, who is very kind enough to call me once before he had invited me, and that was quite a experience for me on a personal level. But today, when I see a book like this, I can understand how passionate he is about his own profession. Dr. Rela, I think we've had a good start together. I've made you feel younger, which is always a good thing. In today's day and age, it's a challenge. And the fact that you could still pass off as an 84, even though you won't make it, I think, age-wise, but still, I think it's a fair compliment to give to you, Dr. Pachamittu, and Mr. Gopinath. என்னோட ஹைலைட்டே இந்த இதில் வந்து டாக்டர் நிர்மல் வந்து வெல்கம் ஸ்பீச் கொடுக்கும்போது என்னையும் டாக்டர்னாரு, ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருந்தது. எங்கள் அம்மாவுக்கு ஒரு ஆசை தான், இப்போ நடக்கலன்னு சொல்லிட்டு கிரிக்கெட்டில் போயிட்டேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். But I must say that in my family there are a few doctors. One of them from this batch said she knows her, actually, my cousin. So I've always believed this, that the real sportsmen, and there is a real sportsman. Cricketers and a lot of people from the movie industry, we are all celebrated as heroes, but the real heroes are the doctors and people who work in the borders of our country. So I always believe in that wholeheartedly. They are the ones making a difference, and if we are in this place in a safe space, in a healthy manner, it's because of doctors like you all. The 84 batch, I think COVID was a challenging time for humanity, but as you always expect doctors to come out with something very interesting and new, you guys used that time productively to come up with a beautiful book like this, and I really hope it goes and touches the length and breadth of the country, because as you always saying that, you know, I've done this myself. When there's an issue, I go to Google, I just ask for what help, and it always gives me a solution, and not knowing whether it is right or wrong. And I'm sure this book is there to guide people like me to do the right thing. All things said and done, thank you so much for inviting me. It is great to see the 84 batch do something so wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Vijay. Thank you to everyone here. Thank you to the media for coming and covering in big numbers. You know, something like this is very important to society, and because of people like you all, it's going to reach to all parts of the state and hopefully for the country as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Karthik. Next, I would like to invite a powerful voice from the world of media, none other than Mr. Gopinath Chandran. Request you to answer.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். The Universal Health Code பேரே ரொம்ப வித்தியாசமாக இருக்குது. அவர் சொன்னார், நான் வச்ச பேர் வித்தியாசமாக இருந்தது, எப்படி 4 லட்சம் புக்கு விற்றாரு அப்படின்னு. நான் விற்கல, பப்ளிஷர் விற்றாங்க. ஆக்சுவலாக இன்றைக்கி வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான விஷயம் டீச்சராக இருக்குது, அப்புறம் டாக்டராக இருக்குது. இது 2 தான் இன்றைக்கி இருக்கிறதுல ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான விஷயம். ஏன்னா முன்னாலாம் பெருசாக நமக்கு விவரம் தெரியாது, டாக்டர் நம்பி வருவாங்க. இப்போ வர்றவங்க எல்லாமே பாதி தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு தான் வராங்க, ஆனால் எதையுமே முழுசாக தெரிஞ்சுட்டு வர்றதில்ல. அது ஒரு பெரிய சிக்கல். இதுவாக இருக்குமோ அதுவாக இருக்குமோ அப்படிங்கிற ஏகப்பட்ட குழப்பத்தோடு உள்ளே வந்து ஒவ்வொன்றா கேட்டு, இதில் டாக்டர் அதுன்னு இருக்க டாக்டரையும் குழப்பி விட்டு அந்த லெவலுக்கு எல்லோரும் ஓரளவுக்கு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு ஈரால் தன்னை பற்றி சரியாக தெரிந்து கொள்வதற்கும் ஒரு புக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது. 10 டாக்டர் 20 டாக்டர்லாம் சேர்ந்தால் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் திறப்பாங்கன்னு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கேன். முறையாக 50 டாக்டர் சேர்ந்து ஒரு புக்கை உருவாக்கியிருக்கீங்க. தேங்க்யூ. இட்ஸ் அ குட் கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் டு த சொசைட்டி. ஏன்னா மனுஷனுடைய ரொம்ப சகஜமான வாழ்க்கையிலே அவன் தன்னை அறியாமல் இயல்பாக சொல்கிற வார்த்தை உடம்பை பார்த்துக்குங்கிறது தான். நம்ம அது ரொம்ப சப்கான்ஷியஸாகவே சொல்லுவோம். எப்படி இருக்கீங்க, நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா அப்படின்னா, நல்லா இருக்கா, ஹெல்த்தியாக இருக்கீங்களா அப்படிங்கிறது தான் அர்த்தம். ஸோ இதில் நான் பார்த்த ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான ஒரு விஷயம், புக்கு கிடைச்ச கேப்பில் கோத்ரூ படுறதில் சொன்னால், அந்த ஆப்டிமல் ஹெல்த் இஸ் அ வெரி மச் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் திங். ஏன்னா உங்கள் உடல் எவ்வளவு திறனோடு இருக்கிறது, உங்கள் உடல் முழுமையான திறனோடு செயல்படுகிறதாங்கிற ஒரு விஷயம் ரொம்ப முக்கியமானதாக பட்டுச்சு. ரெண்டாவது என்னென்னா, ஹார்ட்னு தனியாக கிடையாது, கிட்னின்னு தனியாக கிடையாது, மொத்தத்தில் உடம்பு நல்லா இருக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது தான். ஸோ நம்ம உடம்பை சரியாக தெரிந்து கொள்ளுகிற போது பல்வேறு விதமான அடிப்படை சந்தேகங்கள்லேருந்து விலகி, இப்போ எப்படி டெலிப்ராம்ப்டிங் ரொம்ப முக்கியமாக இருக்கும். முதல்ல டாக்டர்கிட்ட போய் எனக்கு என்ன பண்ணுதுன்னு ஓரளவுக்கு புரிகிற மாதிரி சொல்கிறதுக்கு ஐ ஷுட் நோ மை பாடி. ஆனால் யூனிவர்ஸில் என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னா, உலகத்திலேயே அப்டேட் பண்ணப்படாத பெரிதாக கவனிக்கப்படாத கருவியின் பெயர் உடம்பு அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. உலகத்திலேயே அப்டேட் பண்ணப்படாத பெரிய அளவுக்கு கவனிக்கப்படாத கருவியின் பெயர் உடம்பு அப்படின்னு. சின்னதாக ஒரு 2 வீலர் வச்சுருந்தா கூட வாரத்துக்கு ஒரு தடவை நம்மளே தொடச்சிடுவோம், ஆயில் மாற்றிடுவோம், ஆயில் வண்டியில் பெட்ரோல் இருக்கா என்ன ஏதுன்னு பார்த்துப்போம், கிளச்சை கரெக்டாக இருக்கான்னு பார்த்துப்போம், கார் வச்சுருந்தா அதை விட பார்த்துப்போம், வீடு வச்சுருந்தா ஆணி அடிக்காமல் பார்த்துப்போம், ஸ்க்ராட்ச் விழுகாமல் பார்த்துப்போம். ஆனால் இதெல்லாத்தையும் பார்த்துக்கிற நம்மளை பார்த்துக்கிறத பற்றி நம்ம என்றைக்குமே கவலைப்பட்டதே கிடையாது. நாம் பொருளாதாரத்தை எங்கே மிச்சப்படுத்தோம்னா, டாக்டர் 6 நாளைக்கு மாத்திரை எழுதி கொடுத்தா அதை 3 நாளைக்கு வாங்குவோம், அதுக்குள்ளே சரியாயிரும் நம்புறது தான் எங்களுடைய பொருளாதார சிக்கனத்தின் முதல் கூறு. அப்படிப்பட்ட இடத்துல இந்த மாதிரி எல்லா டாக்டர்ஸும் கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணி அந்த ரிசர்ச் பண்ணியிருக்கிறது அப்படிங்கிறது உண்மையிலே பாராட்டுக்கும் வரவேற்புக்கும் உரிய விஷயம். என்னென்னா, ரொம்ப பெரிய புத்தகமாக இருக்குது. ஏஐ வேர்ல்டில் இந்த புத்தகத்தை பக்கமாக எப்படி படிக்கிறது கொஞ்சம் பதட்டமாக இருக்குது. பட் ஸ்டில் தட் இதை சில புத்தகங்கள்லாம் நான் படிக்கும்போது ரொம்ப பெரிய புத்தகங்களாக இருக்கிறது டேபிள் மேலே எடுத்து வச்சுருவேன். ஒரு நாளைக்கு 2 பேஜ் 3 பேஜ் அப்படிங்கிறது மாதிரி. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரியாக இதை கொண்டு போய் சேர்ப்பதற்கு இதுக்கு தொடர்ச்சியான முயற்சிகள் செய்யணும் அப்படின்னு என்னுடைய வேண்டுகோளையும் இங்கே வைக்கிறேன். ஏன்னா பெரிதாக உதாசீனப்படுத்தப்படும் உடம்பு குறித்த ஒரு புரிதலை தரக்கூடிய ஒரு புத்தகம் எல்லோர் கையிலும் சென்று சேர வேண்டும், அந்த புரிதலும் ஏற்படணும் அப்படிங்கிறது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். ஸோ நம்ம சப்கான்ஷியஸாக இருக்கிற நல்லா இருக்கீங்களாங்கிற வார்த்தையை த யூனிவர்சல் ஹெல்த் கோட் அப்படின்னு வச்சுருக்காங்க. இன்றைக்கி இப்போ ஃப்ளட்டட் இன்ஃபர்மேஷனுக்கு நடுவில் ஆத்தென்டிக் பீப்புள் எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து ஒரு இன்புட் கொடுத்து ரிசர்ச் பண்ணியிருக்கத ஒரு பக்காவான டாக்குமெண்ட்டாக, ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு டாக்குமெண்ட்டாக லுக் சி தட். டாக்டர் போஸ் அவர்கள் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இப்படி ஒரு ஹம்பிளானால நான் பார்த்ததே இல்லை. ஏன்னா என்னை இன்வைட் பண்ண இவர் தான் வந்தார், ஆனால் இவர் தான் டாக்டர் போஸ்னே எனக்கு தெரியாது. சாரி சார், அன்றைக்கி நான் ரொம்ப பதட்டத்தில் கடன்னு இந்த மேடம் வந்தாங்க, அவர் வந்தார், நான் பேசிகிட்டு இருந்தோம். நான் ரொம்ப நேரம் இருக்க முடியல, ஏன்னா நம்ம வேலையை தான் தெரியுங்களா இல்லையா, எல்லாமே காலை சுடுதண்ணி ஊற்றிட்டு இந்த உட்காந்து எந்திரிக்க வேலையை நேரமே இல்லைங்கிற மாதிரி ஒவ்வொரு வேலைக்கு கூப்பிட்டுக்கிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. அப்போ அவர் வந்தவர் நான் தாங்க புக்கை எழுதினவர் அப்படின்னு கூட சொல்லலை என்கிட்ட. ஏதோ என்னை வரவேற்கிறதுக்கு வந்தவர் போட்டிருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு சத்த நேரம் உட்காந்து பேசிட்டு அவரோட போனேன். அவர் இங்கே பேச ஆரம்பித்தப்போ ரொம்ப பிரமிப்பாக இருந்துச்சு எனக்கு. சில பேர் பார்க்கல பேசுவாங்க அப்படின்னு தோணும். இந்த நீயானால் அப்படி தான் இருக்கும், இவரெல்லாம் பேசவே மாட்டாருன்னு சொல்ல நம்ம அந்த ஆள் தான் பொழந்து கட்டிட்டு போவார். எப்படி கடைசியாக 8வது இறங்கி 70ன்னு அடிப்பாங்களே சில பேர், அந்த மாதிரி ரொம்ப அழகாக அதை எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணார். ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக அது என்ன டக்குன்னு சிம்பிளாக புரிகிற மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண ஒருத்தர் எழுதிய புத்தகம் எளிமையான மனிதர்களுக்கும் எளிதில் கொண்டு போய் சேர்க்கும், எல்லோருக்கும் புரியும் அப்படின்னு நான் நம்புகிறேன். அண்ட் தேங்க்ஸ் டு த டாக்டர்ஸ். ஆனால் நீங்கள் புட்சாலிங்க, ஒரு புக் லான்ச்சுங்கிற பேரில் ஜாலியாக எல்லாம் ரீயூனியன் பண்ணி எல்லோரும் ஒருத்தர் மீட் பண்ணி, ஏதோ காலேஜில் படிக்கலை, எங்கே மெக்கானிக்கெல்லாம் எங்கே உட்காந்துருக்கீங்கன்னா பயங்கரமாக கிளாப் வரும். எங்கள் 84 பேச்சஸ் அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. கீப்பிங் யுவர் செல்ஃப் எங்கேஜ் அண்ட் மாதிரி மனதளவில் இளமையாக. இது நீங்கள் ஏதோ காலேஜ் கல்ச்சர்ஸ் மாதிரி டாக்டர்ஸ்லாம் ஒரே கலர் புடவை நல்லா இருக்குது, என்ஜாய் பண்ணுங்கள். ஒரு சார் சொன்னாங்க, ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம் என்னென்னா, இட் இஸ் வெரி அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட், சாதாரண மக்களுடைய ஆயுட்காலத்தை அதிகரிப்பதற்கு பெரிய அளவு பங்களித்த டாக்டர்களுடைய ஆயுட்காலம் சராசரி மக்களின் ஆயுட்காலத்தை விட குறைவு. நான் டாக்டர்ஸ் கான்ஃபரன்ஸுக்கு மாதிரி எங்கேயாவது போகிறப்பெல்லாம் நான் முதல்ல சொல்கிறது, உங்களை நீங்கள் பார்த்துங்க, ஏன்னா எங்களை பார்த்துக்க ஆள் வேணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக. ஸோ டேக் கேர் ஆஃப் யுவர் செல்ஃப். இந்த புக்கு கொடுத்ததுக்காக எல்லாருக்கும் நன்றி. அண்ட் ஸ்பெஷல் தேங்க்ஸ் டு ஆல் த டிக்னிட்டரிஸ் ஆன் ஸ்டேஜ். ஐ வில் கோ த்ரூ திஸ் புக். தேங்க்ஸ் ஃபார் திஸ். பெஸ்ட் விஷஸ். குட் லக். தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you, Mr. Gopinath, for that engaging address. Next, we will play a small snippet. I would like all the eyes towards the screens, please. We have a snippet of Dr. Pal Manikam conversing with our VC Board doctor. The audio, please.
Yeah, we have universal health code. So I read the book. I think it is mainly for medical people.
Not necessarily, yeah. So today a lot of the public is also very knowledgeable about this, and I think it's basically common knowledge. And as I was saying earlier, I was hoping somebody would write a user manual for the human body. Nobody wrote, so I took it on myself to compile it. So I have to thank my classmates from my medical school, 84 Madras Medical College.
Madras Medical College, prestigious, yes.
So there are gastroenterologists, there are cardiologists, neurologists, endocrinologists, all that got together, and then we crystallized. The problem today is there's so much of information that we cannot crystallize what's there. So suppose if I tell you is coffee good or bad, and you Google, and there's so many things coming up. And how
my videos also coming up.
And how do you? And each one is contextual. So coffee can be good, coffee can be bad as well. So like that, exercise can be overdoing exercise can be bad as well. So everything is contextual. So how do you condense? So we decided to write this manual, and then this contains all aspects, not one aspect. So everything is contextual and interrelated. Yeah. So this would be the first ever maintenance manual written for the human bodies. How do you take care of yourself? These are the facts. It is not the encyclopedia. There will be much more information, but the starting point. Okay, like nice. A car. Have it, and then you develop on whatever aspect that you think it's correct.
Nice. Yeah, we have universal health code. So I read the book. I think it is mainly for medical people.
Not necessarily, yeah. So today a lot of the public is also very knowledgeable about this, and I think it's basically common knowledge. And as I was saying,
all right. So a very provoking video. Okay. Finally, now, as we approach the conclusion of this inspiring evening, I now invite Dr. Selvi Radhakrishna, Managing Director, Chennai Breast Clinic, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The MMC 1984 batch is truly special. Apart from being the 150th batch of MMC, the centennial batch, we were also the first batch to enter through a common entrance exam. So we learned early that competition builds resilience and that friendships formed there last a lifetime. So it was said earlier, during COVID in 2020, when uncertainty was there everywhere, except on WhatsApp perhaps, the SESQI fitness group was born. So what began as a fitness initiative slowly became a space for discipline, humor, emotional support, connection, and 56 of us still learning, still pushing each other, still laughing. And I must admit, I was a late entrant to that group. So when I asked to join after the deadline, Bose actually asked me to do 20 squats. And I did that, and I had to post a video to enter into that group. So rules are rules, no exception. And it perfectly captures the spirit of this group, structured, generous, full of good humor. And today, another secret. So this book in many ways is Vijay C. Bose's creation. I mean, I would say 99% his creation. The vision, the persistence were largely his. The rest of us mostly bantered with him on the subject, learning lots along the way. Yet in his characteristic generosity, he chose to credit us all as contributors. So our very first thanks goes to Dr. Vijay C. Bose and to all our 56 wonderful batchmates of that group for the friendship, the learning, the quiet inspiration. So Vijay, can you stand up, please? So 3 cheers to Vijay C. Bose. Hip, hip! Big hip, hip! Hip, hip! Yeah, thank you. A heartfelt thanks to Professor Mohammed Raila for the keynote address and for reminding us that lifestyle diseases require prevention and courage beyond prescriptions. And thank you, Nirmal, Chairman of Nirmal Eye Hospital, for the warm and gracious welcome that set the tone for today. And we extend our sincere appreciation to the Chairman of SIMS Hospital and SIMS Hospital Administration for the grand unveiling and for supporting the initiatives that bridge the clinical excellence with lifestyle change. Our thanks to Mr. Dinesh Karthik for sharing his thoughts on this book, a practical guide for life. And thank you, Mr. Gopinath, for engaging reflections and the advice for doctors. So we would also like to thank Dr. Bose's orthopedic mentors, colleagues, his family, his childhood friends who went through, poured over this book and gave feedback, all our patients who remain our greatest teachers. From patients, we learn not only the science, but the art of medicine, humility, trust, and compassion. Our gratitude also goes to our extended MMC family for being a constant source of support across decades. And a sincere thanks to press and media for carrying this message forward, and to the publishers giving this book such a beautiful form, and to the event management team whose seamless work made it possible today. And I'll end with this. If this book helps even one person live with more awareness, move with more intention, and choose health a little earlier, then every squat, every debate, every late night, and every shared effort has truly been worth it. Thank you all. And let's give a big hand to all the people involved, the purpose behind the book. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Now we would like to offer a small token of appreciation to our chief guests and guests of honor. I request Dr. Vijay C. Bose to please offer the token of appreciation first to our Honorable Chairman. Next, to Professor Mohammed Raila, sir. Next, to Mr. Dinesh Karthik. And now to Mr. Gopinath Chandran. Thank you all. We now open the floor for media interaction. Over to the media, please. If anybody has any questions, you can please raise your hands. We can give you the mic. Yes. A small request to the media, please. Can we have a very brief session as we are running out of time? I request the media people to please stand back and be seated, please.
Book purchase.
டாக்டர் போஸ் ஒரே ஒரு கொஸ்டின் உங்களுக்கு ஒரே ஒரு கொஸ்டின்
சொல்லுங்க
அதாவது இந்த லேமன் லாங்குவேஜில் இருக்குன்னு சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ இது வந்து லேமன் லாங்குவேஜ் வந்து ஒன்லி இங்கிலீஷ் கிடையாது. ஸோ தாய்மொழியிலையும் மொழிபெயர்க்கப்படுமா? மற்ற அதர் லாங்குவேஜ் மொழிபெயர்த்து நாடு ஃபுல்லாக கொண்டு போவீங்க?
இல்லை, கண்டிப்பாக ஆல்ரெடி தமிழில் மொழிபெயர்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. அது போக தெலுங்கு, மலையாளம், ஹிந்தி எல்லாத்துலேயுமே வர்றதா பிளான். எல்லா லாங்குவேஜ்லேயும் வர்ற மாதிரி பிளான். அது போக எங்களுக்கு வந்து ரிக்வெஸ்ட் இருக்குது. ஆக்சுவலாக இந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணுறோன்றது வெளிநாட்டுக்கெலாம் போயிருக்கு. ஸோ அங்கேருந்துலாம் வர கேட்டிருக்காங்க, ரஷ்யாவிலேருந்து அந்த மாதிரி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. அவங்களும் அந்த மாதிரி அதை மொழிபெயர்த்து பண்ணணுன்ட்டு.
ஸோ இந்த புக்கை எவ்வளோ காப்பீஸ் பிரிண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க? ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஹவு மெனி காப்பீஸ் யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு செல் இட்?
இல்லை, இது வந்து பேசிக்கலாக அமேசானில் தான் போகும் அது. ஸோ அவங்க அமேசான் ஓன் ஃபார்மேட்டில் இருக்கும். ஸோ யாருக்கு வேணாலும் இந்த புக்கு வேணால் அமேசானில் வாங்கிக்கலாம். ஆல்ரெடி அவைலபிள். இது நேற்று அமேசான் ரிலீஸ் ஆச்சு. அதுக்குள்ளே இது வந்து நம்பர் 2 பெஸ்ட் செல்லர் ஆயிருக்கு ஓவர் லாஸ்ட் 2 days. ஸோ எனிபடி வாண்ட்ஸ் கிண்டில் வெர்ஷன் இருக்குது. நீங்கள் இதில் பண்ணுற மாதிரி உங்கள் ஃபோனில் பார்க்குற மாதிரி வெர்ஷன் இருக்குது. எல்லாமே அமேசானில் வாங்கிக்கலாம். ஸோ எவ்ரிதிங் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன் த்ரூ அமேசான்.
டாக்டர் சேர்மன், இது வந்து ஃப்ரீ காப்பியாக வந்து உங்கள்கிட்ட வர பேஷண்ட்ஸ் கொடுப்பீங்களா?
அவர் அமேசானில் இருக்குன்னு சொல்கிறாரு. தேவைப்படுற நேரத்தில் கண்டிப்பாக கொடுப்போம், கேட்குறவங்களுக்கு கொடுப்போம்.
தேங்க்யூ.
வேற என்ன கேள்வி இருக்கு? ஹெல்த் அப்படிங்கிறது எல்லா இடங்களும் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து அதே மாதிரி இப்போ மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த புக்ஸ்ல வந்து இந்த 10 டிப்ஸ் 10 ஷார்ட் கட் அந்த மாதிரி இல்லை. அந்த மாதிரி ஹெல்த் உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்காதுன்றது தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பாயிண்ட். எனக்கு ஒரு 2 டிப்பு சொல்லுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம், 2 டிப்பு. பட் அது இல்லை ஹெல்த். ஹெல்த்தை வந்து முதல்ல அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணணும். அதே மாதிரி நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி இப்போ ஹார்ட்டுக்கு எப்படி வச்சுக்கிறது, கிட்னி எப்படி வச்சுக்கிறதுன்னு கிடையாது, எல்லாத்துக்கும் காமன். அதை புரிஞ்சுதுன்னா எல்லாருக்குமே ரொம்ப ஈஸி, தப்பு கிடையாது. ஆனால் புரியணும், அது புரியுதுதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பாயிண்ட் அது. ஸோ இப்போ வந்து நீங்கள் ஒரு உதாரணத்துக்கு 15 ஸ்பெஷலிஸ்ட் இருக்கான்னு வச்சுங்களேன், ஹார்ட் டாக்டர், லிவர் டாக்டர் இருக்காங்க. 15 பேரும் 15 அட்வைஸ் சொன்னாங்க, நீங்கள் எதை ஃபாலோ பண்ணுவீங்க? சாப்பிட்றது 15 டிஃப்ரெண்டாக சொன்னீங்கன்னா எதை ஃபாலோ? ஸோ எல்லாத்தையும் காமனாக என்ன இருக்குது, அதான் யூனிவர்சல் ஹெல்த் கோட், அதான் புக்கில் எழுதியிருக்கோம். இல்லை அது மாதிரி தனித்தமாக ஒன்றும் கிடையாது, இதுதான் இருக்கிறது கிடையாது. இருக்கிற புக்ஸ் எல்லாம் சேர்த்து காமன் என்ன, அதே மாதிரி ஒரு புக்கில் நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு புக்கில் ஒரு மாதிரி போட்டுக்கலாம், இன்னொரு புக்கில் நீங்கள் இப்போ எதை ஃபாலோ பண்ணுவீங்க நீங்கள்? ஸோ எல்லாத்தையும் சேர்த்து இதில் எங்கே உண்மை இருக்குது, இவங்க எதுக்காக அப்படி சொல்கிறாங்க, அந்த கான்டெக்ட்ல அவங்க சொல்கிறது கரெக்டாக இருக்கும். ஸோ அதெல்லாம் கோர்த்து கொடுக்குறது அந்த புக்கு.
56 டாக்டர்கள் கம்பைண்டாக இருக்காங்க. 56 டாக்டர்ஸ் அவங்க பேட்சில் உள்ளவங்க, மல்டிபிள் ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டியில் உள்ளவங்கெல்லாம் கம்பைன் பண்ணி இந்த புக்கை மற்ற புக்ஸோட கம்பேர் பண்ணி நம்ம அந்த கோடு யூனிவர்சல் கோடுங்கிறத ஒரு புக்காக கிரியேட் பண்ணி காம்பினேஷன் அண்ட் மிக்சராக கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அப்போ உங்களுக்கு வந்து நீங்கள் கேட்குற கேள்வி இது எந்த விதத்தை தனிப்பட்டதுன்னா இது எல்லாத்தையும் உள்ளடக்கி அதுலேருந்து திருத்தங்களை கொண்டு வந்து அவங்க பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. அவர் என் நண்பர், அவர் துறையில் அவர் இருக்காரு, நம்ம துறையில் நம்ம 2 பேரும் ஒரே துறையில் இருக்கோம், அதனால ஒன்றா இருக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு ஒன்றும் தப்பு கிடையாது. இல்லை கேட்டாரு. ஆமாம், இந்த பப்ளிக் ஹெல்த் வந்து எல்லாரோட ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி. ஸோ ஹெல்த் வந்து ஹாஸ்பிட்டலோட ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி. ஸோ எல்லா ஹாஸ்பிட்டலும் மற்ற ஹாஸ்பிட்டலும் சேர்த்து அவர் எப்பவுமே ரம்ஜானுக்கு வீட்டுக்கு விருந்துக்கு போவேன், அவரு என்னை எப்பவும் விடாமல் அழைப்பாரு. அதனால நாங்கள் எப்பவுமே நட்பு ரீதியாக பழகிட்டு தான் இருப்போம். எல்லா ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்லையும் நமக்கு நண்பர்கள் இருக்கிறாங்க.
Okay, last question please, and then we can wind up.
சயின்டிஃபிக். ஸோ நம்ம வந்து அலோபதி அஃப்கோர்ஸ் எல்லாம் நிறைய இருக்கு. பட் நம்ம பழங்காலத்து இது இப்போ யோகா எடுத்துங்க, எல்லாமே சயின்டிஃபிக் தான், நமக்கு புரியல. ஸோ சிலவங்க என்ன பண்றாங்க, இந்த மாடர்ன் மெடிசின் மருத்துவம் வந்து தப்புன்றாங்க, இன்னொருத்தவங்க வந்து இந்த பழங்காலத்துலாம் தப்புன்றாங்க. அதே நிறைய உண்மைகள் இருக்கு, இதே நிறைய உண்மைகள் இருக்கு, கொஞ்சம் இதை தப்பும் இருக்கு. எல்லாத்தையும் கலந்து எது முக்கியமான கலந்துருக்காது. ஆனால் எல்லாமே சயின்டிஃபிக். இது நாங்களா வந்து எங்க ஒப்பீனியனை கொடுக்கல. இல்லை இப்போ எல்லா டாபிக் எடுத்துட்டா எங்க ஒப்பீனியன் கிடையாது. என்னென்ன இருக்கோ சயின்டிஃபிக் மெட்டீரியல் இருக்கோ அதெல்லாம் சேர்த்து காமனா என்ன எல்லாரும் சொல்ல வராங்க, இது எங்க ஒப்பீனியன் கிடையாது. காமனா எல்லாரும் என்ன சொல்ல வராங்கன்னு சொல்ற ஒப்பீனியன். இது 300 பக்கங்க, பிரைஸ் 1999, 2000 rupees. So in the book வந்து universal health code is the book.
Thank you media, thank you for all the questions. Thank you everyone. Thank you for the questions please. Now we wind up. One more important note for all of y'all. The books are available outside for sale. So those who are interested, you can lay your hands on them. And thank you on behalf of SIMS and organizing team. Thank you for being a part of this historic milestone. Have a wonderful evening. Most importantly, stay healthy. Thank you. I would also like to invite the batch of 84 Madras Medical College, all of them, to come on stage for a group photo at the last place.